Have you ever pondered the notion that Tanzania harbors a crater revered by locals as the eighth wonder of the world? It is indeed true. However, this is merely the tip of the iceberg. This nation is a veritable treasure trove of contrasts and enigmas. Envision, if you will, postcard-perfect beaches along one coast, devoid of throngs of tourists, while indigenous tribes reside on another, living without the conveniences of electricity or currency. And yes, this is reality, not a cinematic fabrication. Have you ever encountered tales of a market steeped in the practices of black magic? It exists within these borders, drawing individuals for a myriad of purposes, ranging from ritualistic observances to simple curiosity. Furthermore, the Swahili language transcends mere communication. It is a veritable melody that permeates the very air. Let us not forget the presence of individuals with albinism. Tanzania boasts a higher concentration of them than virtually any other place on Earth. And this is no mere coincidence. Every facet of this country is a self-contained narrative. And today, we shall immerse ourselves within it wholeheartedly. Are you prepared for astonishing revelations? Let us embark upon this journey. Fact number 1. Tanzania, a land where untamed wilderness converges with ancient tribes and a colonial legacy. Just imagine it. On one side stands the majestic Mount Kilimanjaro, as if guarding its deepest secrets, while on the other, the pristine white beaches of Zanzibar beckon with coral reefs that rival any tropical paradise. This is not merely a collection of beautiful images. It is a genuine land of contrasts, where ancient tribes, such as the Maasai, continue to adhere to their age-old customs, rejecting modern conveniences. Meanwhile, in bustling cities like Dar es Salaam, life pulsates with activity, fueled by ambition and entrepreneurial spirit. And yes, Tanzania is much more than just a safari destination where you can witness the famed Big Five. It also possesses a rich cultural heritage, cloaked in the vestiges of Portuguese and British influences, which continue to leave an indelible mark on the local culture. Dozens of languages are spoken here, each representing a unique story waiting to be unveiled. This country remains an enigma to many, akin to a captivating novel that you never quite finish reading. Therefore, if you believe you know Tanzania, reconsider. This is a place where contrasts intertwine like colors on an artist's palette, and each deserves your undivided attention. Fact number 2. Why is the world's largest intact volcanic caldera hailed as the eighth wonder of the world? Let us delve into this question. The Ngorongoro crater is not simply a hole in the ground. It is an entire ecosystem teeming with life, much like a mixed martial arts ring. Imagine a colossal bowl formed by the collapse of a volcano, but it is neither a volcano nor a canyon. It is a veritable natural treasure trove. The crater spans approximately 24 kilometers in diameter, and within its depths, akin to a living aquarium, reside nearly all the species of African fauna. Lions, elephants, zebras, and wildebeest are concentrated in a single location, as if nature has orchestrated a grand gathering for them. Being here is akin to experiencing a real-life safari, where you need not traverse vast expanses to encounter wild animals. And what about the landscapes? One gets the impression that an artist seized a palette and simply splattered all the colors across this place. Verdant meadows, golden savannas, and vibrant blue lakes. And do not overlook the local tribes who continue to inhabit this area, as they have for millennia, weaving their culture into this natural symphony. Yet, there is a paradox. Despite all this splendor, the Ngorongoro crater faces threats not from catastrophic natural events, but from the very people whose actions could jeopardize this idyllic setting. Therefore, if you desire to witness how nature and humanity can coexist, albeit precariously, the Ngorongoro crater is a destination worth experiencing. Fact number 3. How is it possible to live without electricity, running water, and currency in the 21st century? Let us discuss the Hadza tribe, who surprisingly are true masters of survival in Tanzania. These individuals do not simply disregard modern conveniences. They proudly showcase their independence from technology, as if they have no need for it. The Hadza live in harmony with nature, hunting and gathering the earth's bounty, just as their ancestors did thousands of years ago. Their day begins with a hunt. The men venture out with bows and arrows, while the women gather berries, roots, and wild fruits. In this tribe, there is no place for monotonous diets. Breakfast may consist of freshly killed antelope, while lunch may comprise berries they have discovered along the way. And here is what is truly remarkable. The Hadza do not recognize ownership in the conventional sense. They have no need for currency nor even bartering. They simply share what they have hunted or gathered. It resembles an ideal world where everyone possesses everything and there is no need to worry about bills or loans. And what about comfort? They reside in simple huts and do not concern themselves with whether someone has Wi-Fi or hot water. For them, the presence of a forest and a river for fishing are more important. In this context, the Hadza are not merely a tribe. They embody an entire philosophy of life that prompts us to ponder whether we are truly happier with our gadgets and constant hustle. In essence, if you wish to witness how the last hunter-gatherers live, oblivious to flat-screen televisions and payment systems, Tanzania is your destination. Fact number 4. Markets for magic and witches are not figments of imagination, but stark realities. Prepare yourself for genuine exoticism. In Dar es Salaam, there exists a fetish market that, in essence, transcends a mere bazaar. It is a veritable crucible of beliefs, where magic is interwoven into everyday life. Stroll through this place, and you will observe dried animals, skulls, amulets, and potions being sold alongside ordinary goods. These are not merely souvenirs for tourists. Local residents frequent this market to acquire items that they believe can aid them in their lives. Amulets are believed to bring good fortune, while potions are thought to heal ailments or even induce love. Ancient beliefs permeate Tanzanian culture like a thread through fabric, and many still believe that magic is a tangible force that can be felt. At this market, you can find everything from dried lizards to powders that, according to vendors, can attract wealth. And there is no room for skepticism. For many, this is not simply charlatanism, but a part of their culture and traditions. In Tanzania, witchcraft and magic are not merely attributes of folklore. They are vital elements of the social structure. Each person who visits the market carries with them their hopes and dreams, which seem to come alive amidst these goods. If you wish to comprehend how deeply these beliefs are rooted in people's lives, visit this market and simply stand, listening to the conversations and whispers. The true magic, without a doubt, lies not only in the potions, but also in people's belief that they can alter their destiny. Fact number 5. Automobiles are forbidden on Zanzibar, and this is no jest. Yes, you heard correctly. In the village of Nungwi, on the island of Zanzibar, the roads are so narrow that even the smallest car would become ensnared in a traffic jam on the slender walkways. Here, movement occurs solely on foot or by bicycle, creating an atmosphere of complete detachment from civilization. Imagine yourself traversing picturesque streets where local residents, as they have for decades, conduct their affairs, leisurely conversing with their neighbors and savoring life's simple pleasures. This is not merely exoticism. It is a genuine counter-civilization where time flows according to its own laws, not according to clocks. The village breathes history and traditions, and you can sense this simply by strolling along the pristine white beaches where fishermen return with their catch and children frolic on the shore. Nungwi lacks the customary urban hustle and bustle, and this is precisely what makes it so appealing. Of course, some tourists may wonder how this is possible without cars, but for the local inhabitants, this is not merely a rule, but a way of life. They are committed to preserving their unique culture, and the absence of automobiles only underscores this commitment. And, incidentally, this very environment allows you to better acquaint yourself with the local residents, as they are not confined within automobiles, but are willing to stop, converse, and share their stories. Zanzibar is not solely about beaches and sunshine. It also encompasses places where time stands still, and life flows at its own tranquil pace. Fact number 6. Man-eating lions. A fear that gripped an entire construction project. Let us examine how man-eating lions in the early 20th century became a genuine threat to workers constructing a railway in Tanzania. This is no fairy tale. It is a true story that still sends shivers down spines. Imagine, during that period, as the British were forging a path through the wild lands, 2 lions began preying on humans, killing dozens of workers. Fear soon consumed the entire construction site. People were at a loss as to how to cope with this situation. They set traps, lit fires, and attempted to fortify their camps, but the lions continued to terrorize them. The workers, who had once dreamed of a better life, now feared leaving their tents even during the day. This situation persisted for several months, and eventually construction was suspended. It is worth noting that during that era, these lions became veritable celebrities. Their habits and hunting techniques were studied, and tales of them were discussed in every corner of the earth. Ultimately, British hunter John Henry Patterson decided to take matters into his own hands, and after numerous attempts, he managed to kill both lions, bringing an end to this nightmare. However, the stories of the man-eating lions continue to generate intense interest and numerous questions. Why did two lions suddenly begin preying on humans? This is not typical behavior for these animals. Yes, it is possible that it was a consequence of their hunger or illness. But one thing is clear. This story reminds us that nature can always remind us of its power, and sometimes it encroaches too closely upon the human world. Fact number 7. Swahili, a language that captivates the ear. Let us explore why this language has become one of the most melodious and beautiful in the world. In Tanzania, Swahili holds official status, and for good reason. It sounds like music. The majority of local residents speak it, and if you have ever heard people conversing in Swahili, you will comprehend what I am conveying. It is a language that seems to enfold you with its sonorous phrases and flowing cadences. Do not be disconcerted if its grammar seems intricate. It possesses numerous rules, but these lend the language a distinctive beauty and rhythm. Imagine the sound of the phrase, habari gani. It is not merely, how are you? It is almost a melodious inquiry that compels you to smile. Swahili is not merely a means of communication, it is a reflection of the soul of the people who employ it. By studying it, you do not simply learn words, you immerse yourself in the culture, traditions, and history. And frankly, a language that permits you to say, nimefurahi, instead of, I am happy, simply must occupy a place in your heart. If you wish to experience the atmosphere of Tanzania, commence with this language. It is akin to the first breath of fresh air against the backdrop of the vibrant sunsets of the African sun. Fact number 8. Snowy peaks in Africa. Yes, that is Mount Kilimanjaro. Imagine yourself in Africa, surrounded by verdant savannas and scorching sun, with the majestic Mount Kilimanjaro towering above you. The continent's highest mountain, it is like a pristine white crown atop the head of a majestic giant. Situated just a few kilometers from the equator, this mountain attracts attention not only for its snow-capped peaks, but also because ascending it has become a true aspiration for numerous tourists. Few are aware that Mount Kilimanjaro is not merely a mountain, it is an entire ecosystem with a diversity of flora and fauna at varying altitudes. On the lower slopes, you will encounter tropical forests where the rustling of leaves and the chirping of birds create an atmosphere as if you have stepped into a fairy tale. As you ascend higher, you will transition into alpine zones with astonishing plants that you are unlikely to encounter elsewhere. However, as you might surmise, the dream of conquering this beauty is not as straightforward as it might seem. Ascending requires not only physical fitness but also proper acclimatization to avoid falling victim to altitude sickness. The path to the summit is not merely a stroll. It is a genuine test of your strength and spirit. This is precisely why Mount Kilimanjaro has become not merely a mountain, but a symbol of struggle, achievement, and, undeniably, the breathtaking views that unfold from its peak. Should you decide to accept this challenge, be prepared for not only a stunning spectacle but also a genuine adventure that will forever remain etched in your memory. Fact number 9. Zanzibar. Beaches you have dreamed of but without the crowds of tourists. Let us discuss where you can escape the throngs of people and revel in nature in its pristine splendor. The southern and northern regions of Zanzibar are a true haven for those seeking tranquility and serenity. Here, pristine white beaches appear to have been lifted straight from promotional brochures, surrounded only by coconut palms that whisper of tropical coolness. Just imagine yourself reclining on the soft sand, with not a soul in sight. In contrast to more popular resorts where crowds of tourists can spoil the entire atmosphere, these havens offer seclusion. The mainland coast of Tanzania is equally impressive. For instance, the beaches in the vicinity of Lindi or Mafia Island are genuine treasures where you can savor the tranquility and beauty of the ocean. Local fishermen occasionally stroll along the shore, but they are so few that you might think you have stepped into another era. Yes, there are no luxurious hotels or noisy bars, but this is precisely what makes these places so special. In such locations, time seems to stand still, and you can truly unwind, forgetting about the urban hustle and bustle. Therefore, if you are seeking the perfect place for a vacation far from civilization, Zanzibar and Tanzania are your ideal choices. Fact number 10. When curry meets stewed meat and sweets.